has Fox actually found a line that the people appearing on their channel can't cross when criticizing the government on COVID? Well, probably not, but maybe, because Lara Logan's sort of been absent for a while, ever since she said something pretty, I would say, incendiary. In case you didn't see what she said last week, here is a bit of that video.
It's cheap to treat. Medicines are available all over the world, and it has death rates that compare very much to seasonal flu. Moment, what you see on Dr. Fauci, this is what people say to me, that he doesn't represent science to them. He represents Joseph Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor who did experiments on Jews during the Second World War and in the concentration camps. And I am talking about people all across the world are saying this.
So, Dr. Fauci is Mengele. He is a Nazi who does experiments on people. That seemed like a crazy thing to say, and maybe they agree, because Lara Logan, who had regularly been appearing on the network, seems to be gone since then. She's not done talking in that way on things like Twitter. She's continued to attack Dr. Fauci, retweeting and liking tweets, bashing him as a Nazi. She also blocked the Auschwitz Memorial after the organization condemned her comments. So you know you're on the right side of history when you're doing that. And yet, look, first of all, she could just appear on the show, the network again later today. That's entirely possible. But even if she is gone, I sort of understand why they're not saying anything. They may not want someone like Lara Logan calling Dr. Fauci a literal Nazi, like, war criminal, but they also don't want to make that a standard. Because interestingly, on the same day when Lara Logan made her comments, Tucker Carlson called Dr. Fauci an even shorter version of Benito Mussolini, a fascist leader, authoritarian, a dictator. And the thing is, if you were to come out and be like, Lara Logan has been disciplined for the thing that she said, well, then conceivably that's now a standard that you'd have to apply to other people. And they certainly care about Tucker Carlson only about 1,000 times more than they do Lara Logan. So again, Nina, first of all, it's Lara Logan. Maybe we don't care. I'm trying to get a read on if there are any lines left for Fox News, and we don't yet know. But so far, she hasn't come back on the network.
Yeah, Johnny, your point is well taken. You know, God forbid they challenge their cash, you know, the person that's bringing in the big bucks for the network. So they will have a double standard here, because if they, you know, come after her hard, they will definitely have to come after Tucker. And I don't see them doing that in the foreseeable future. He would have to do something pretty horrendous by their standards, not our standards.
By their standards.
Right,
yeah.
By their standards, for him to be sent to the principal's office and then maybe suspended. So that's far from happening.
Yeah. Well, I've always sort of found this to be an interesting thing, like, you know, socially in government, like, are there any norms that still exist socially? Are there still any social norms? Because, like, Fox last year, most people don't even remember this. They got rid of Trish Regan. Supposedly, like, they're not being very clear about why they did that last year, but supposedly it was after her coronavirus comments, where she had a sidebar graphic saying coronavirus impeachment scam. And she said that Democrats were creating mass hysteria to encourage a market sell-off and sowing fear about the virus, quote, to demonize and destroy the president. So that was back on March 13th, 2020. So that was, I think it was like 3 days before TYT went into lockdown mode. So it was very early on in the pandemic. And supposedly, like, the common conception of what happened is that she was benched over that. That would be the most mild thing a person said on Fox the entire day now. Like, they are so much more deranged than that. If you were Trish Regan, how mad would you be that you got thrown under the bus when they're bringing on complete whack job anti-vaxxers on a daily basis now?
Extraordinarily mad, like, as in mad as hell. Mm-hmm. They have really no standard. I think they just making it up as they go along, and it depends on who the person is and what their position is in the universe, how they mete out the punishment. I mean, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, as an external observer, it certainly does. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.